Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Untangled. We are on episode 12, and I am on fire this morning in California. I got a lot of energy running through my body, and I have so much to share with you guys, personal stories. I cannot wait to dive in. But before I do, I just want to say hello. How are you guys doing? And where are you all over the world? Hi, Zeppelin. I'm glad that you are making it live here. Hi, Lars. Great to see you here. Hello, Karen. Hi, Wes. What's up? Hi, Sarah. Hi, Aya. Thank you so much for all of the products. I got them the other day and started using some of them. They're amazing. It's really good to be here with you guys. What a time to be alive on the planet. Um, Hi, Megan from Long Island. Oh, Barbados. That sounds like a nice little place to be right now. It's really overcast and cold here in Northern California. Yay, you have a new job. That's fabulous. So good. Okay. Powerful energies as always, aren't they? Um, Let's get going. First of all, thanks for being here again. If you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe. And then hit the bell notification so you'll get notified every time I go live for these Untangled episodes. All right, where do I start? Where do I start? I want to go over my weekend, what happened on my weekend. So a lot of you know that I'm pretty much a hermit. I stay at home a lot, and I don't have a lot of social interaction. I have my mom who I socialize with, and then when I go to my yoga studio, I have my yoga friends. A girlfriend of mine just moved back from Hawaii, so every once in a while I'll be meeting up with her. But for the most part, I'm pretty much a hermit. And it's been this way for quite some time. Thank you, my love, for the super chat. It's been like this for a while, long time. And recently, I've been traveling a little bit more, visiting my friend in Florida, and trying to start to balance being a little bit more human and trying to find more socialization in my life. It's becoming really, really important for me. So a friend of mine, some of you guys know him, Rodney from Tampa, who I visit every once in a while, dear, dear friend of mine, asked if I wanted to go to Austin, Texas for a friend's birthday party this weekend. And of course, I was like, hell yeah, raised my hand. I'm always up for being human, as I like to call it. When I'm home, I'm introverted. So it's really like I'm in I wouldn't call it like work mode, but it definitely feels like I'm in an office, right? And I'm focused on bringing in messages. I'm focused on connecting to the collective energies. I'm focused on myself. So it feels like I'm always at work when I'm at home. So any chance I get to take a time out and to turn on the little closed sign in my office, I take it. So we went to Austin, Texas. We went to see an amazing man for his birthday. He's doing amazing work on the planet, and so we went to the party on Friday night, and amazing people were there. Amazing people that are all different walks of life. People that have been serving humanity for a while, um, and and what I noticed, this happens to me quite often. This happens to me a lot when I go into social situations, parties, or things like that, where there's a lot of people. And sometimes it happens when there's just a few people. It's really interesting. My body, I don't know why I'm sharing this with you guys, but I'm just going to share it. And again, this can be in big situations like big parties, big events, or it can be with just a couple of people. But what happens is that out not I am not consciously doing this, but my body begins to move into a super high frequency. And it's very strange feeling because it feels like I am simultaneously participating in the event and not. The best way that I can describe it is it feels like I'm high. Okay, and I wanna preface that I am not consciously trying to move myself into a super high frequency. I'm not trying to do that. I didn't think as we were walking up the stairs, I'm gonna move myself into a high frequency. Um, I don't tr you guys know me by now, I don't try to increase my frequency ever. It's the last thing I ever try to do. I never, ever try to control my frequency. But this has happened to me many times, and so I'm aware of it. And it's a very, challenging experience to have. So I'm deeply grounded in my body. I wanna preface that as well. I am not out of my body. Rarely do I ever experience moments now where I'm out of my body. But that's what makes it so challenging. I am grounded into my body, and as soon as I walk into the room and I start to have a conversation with people, I can feel my body beginning to raise its frequency. And it becomes extremely difficult to have conversation. It's like you're on a drug and you're listening to the person, but you're not really hearing them, and yet you're completely focused on what they're saying. But what happens to me is I start to engage on an energetic level instead of a physical level. So I'm starting to read energies more than listening to a conversation. And I swear to God, I was like, I hope this person doesn't think I'm on drugs. Like I hope, like, because they would say something and then I couldn't ground in what they were saying. And then I would like 5 minutes later, I'd ask the same question, or I'd ask something that was like, "I think they already told me this, but I can't remember." I don't know if you guys have ever had this, like, sober, but it is really challenging to navigate. And it's not like I was okay, so you know that I trust everything. Everything I experience, I trust. I wasn't freaking out. I wasn't like, "Oh my god, something's wrong with me," right? I wasn't like, "Oh my god, I need to ground in." I was grounded. Deeply grounded. And the frequencies in the room were really, really high. I was tapping into the frequencies in the room. I was tapping into the frequencies of each person I was talking to. I was recognizing the challenge of conversation, right? So for me, if there was there it sometimes it can feel efforting to have a conversation. This has nothing to do with the individual I was speaking with, because every single person I met was such an amazing soul. Every person I met with, they were so incredible. But to me, conversating can be effort. It can be very, very difficult and challenging for me when I'm in a new situation, when I'm in a situation where I don't know people. If I'm with like my friends that I'm close with, then conversing is no big deal, right? But for whatever reason, my higher self, my guides moved me into a very high frequency. And so I felt like I was simultaneously in the room and not in the room. I felt like I was able to have a conversation and yet could barely have a conversation. I felt like I could read energies in ways that I don't typically read energies. So I would walk up to somebody and I would be able to feel what they were thinking before they said it, or I could feel their intentions before it was spoken. Um, I could read their signature. So the signature of someone is like the the purpose of being on the planet. I could read into their signatures. It was wild. And I've had this before, so I wasn't super freaked out, right? I wasn't like, "Oh my god, something's wrong with me," because I've had this before. Um, but it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable. And of course, while I was going through this, I could feel my guides around me because I'm deeply connected to these external guides that I have. And I was deeply connected to my own internal guidance, my higher self. And I kept hearing them say to me, "This is your frequency. This is your light. This is you. This is you. This is you." That's what they kept saying to me. This is who you are. Feel the differences between you and the room. Feel and differences isn't a bad thing. It wasn't like lower than or higher than vibrational people because it was all really high vibrational people in the room. But they wanted me to feel like a contrast, meaning the difference between my energies and the other individual energies. They wanted me to feel the difference between one individual and another individual's energies, right? And there wasn't a judgment around this. It was just like, Lorie, you are learning how to be energetic as opposed to super physical. And the freaky thing about it is, I'm not kidding you, you guys. Conversation was so challenging because the moment I would say something, it would disappear. And the moment somebody else would say something, it would disappear. So I couldn't ground a conversation in. I couldn't remember what that individual just said. I couldn't carry the conversation. It was freaky. It was very, very freaky because usually when you have a conversation, you're holding that conversation. What I mean is you are remembering what has been said in that conversation and you kind of know where it's going. So there's a guidance and there's an anchoring of that conversation. There's an anchor to it. So you know where you started and you kind of know where the conversation may be going, right? There's a guidance to it. I had none of that. I had none of that. I couldn't remember what they had just said. I couldn't remember what I had just said. I couldn't remember what I had just asked. And so by like 3 hours in, I felt pretty exhausted. I felt pretty exhausted. Is this because this is new for me and I'm learning how to really deeply anchor this energy and anchor this frequency and anchor? Yeah, of course. Of course. Did it have anything to do with the people? Abso-freaking-lutely not. Not at all, right? We have got to stop blaming other people for what we are experiencing, period. The more that we can start doing that, the easier it will become for us to just be the energy, the light, the frequency, the experience and expression of ourselves, truly. Stop blaming people for what you're thinking. Stop blaming people for what you're feeling. Stop blaming people for being low frequency or a low vibrational person. I mean, that needs to be thrown out the window immediately. We are here to feel contrast, period. We are here to feel our energies and someone else's, period. We are here to learn how to engage on an energetic level without the judgment of this being good or bad, right or wrong. And I'm not saying there aren't things that are good and bad. Obviously, there is good and bad in this world. There is right and wrong in this world. I'm not talking about duality and polarity. I'm talking about trying to feel and experience energies in this world without labeling a judgment to it, attaching a judgment to it. You're just experiencing the energies, right? And that's very, very challenging. More and more and more of us are becoming really, really, really energetic. Okay, let's move on to what happened next. All right. So here I am, right? I don't drink very often. Many of you guys know that. I stopped drinking in 2013 and didn't have a drink until August of last year, 2021. And I don't drink very often. If I drink, I have a glass of wine, maybe if I even finish it. Okay. So I had a glass of wine, I think, throughout the 3 hours, and I could feel it moving through my body. But the interesting thing about when I have a glass of wine, this is really interesting. Tell me if you guys have this experience now, is I I feel like my higher self is like, "What are you doing? Do you realize how difficult it is for us to integrate this? We now, because I am in this really high frequency, and then human Lori's like, "I'm gonna have a glass of wine. This is a great idea." And then human Lorie starts to drink the glass of wine, and higher self Lorie is like, "Bitch, I gotta now integrate this, and you're like literally like messing with the high frequency light, right? So now I got to integrate this. This is going to take a little extra work on our part, on my part. Like, what are you doing here?" So I could intuitively feel my higher self integrating that liquid consciousness that's moving into my body that is of a lower frequency. Alcohol is, in my opinion, a lower frequency than what my body was holding. Okay. Um, so I could feel that. I remember sitting on this chair talking to this hilarious guy from London. Oh my God, he was like the most amazing. Um, and laughing and my God, I just remember my higher self like, "Girl, stop drinking that glass of wine." I could hear that. And I'm like, "Do, do, do, do." So I just pick up a glass of water and down the glass of water. But when I do drink a glass of wine here or there, I don't feel it the same way that I used to. I don't get tipsy or high. It's a really strange feeling because I think my body, my higher self is like, "You're not supposed to be doing this. I get that you're human. Keep going, be the human. But we're going to try to integrate this so that you don't get tipsy, so that you don't get high, so you don't get quote unquote drunk." Right. So in Austin, when in Austin, do as the Austins do. We were on 6th Street. If you've never been to Austin, Texas, highly recommend. It's a lot of fun. We were on 6th Street. They shut 6th Street off. And so they like you can't drive down 6th Street at night, at least on the weekends. And so Rodney and I and a friend that we met, who does a lot of great work on social media, we decided that we were going to go out. We were going to go hit the town. Now, I'm in a super high frequency still. Had a glass of wine. Higher self was not happy about that. But I wanted to kick my shoes off and say, screw it. So, because I'm very energetic, I know exactly what's going on with my body. And so we went to this one bar, super loud bar, and our friend ordered like a double vodka on the rocks for us with, like, a side of, like, I don't know, some juice, like pineapple juice, and then another one was cranberry juice. And, I drank it. And what's so interesting about because I used to be a really big drinker, okay? I know what alcohol feels like in my body. I'm telling you, you guys, my body integrates alcohol in a very different way now, because I'm not supposed to be drinking it, meaning it's not my body does not want it in its system. It filters it almost where I don't feel tipsy. I don't feel drunk. I don't feel it the way that I would have thought that I would have felt it. I mean, I don't drink. I just had a glass of wine and a double freaking vodka thing. Like, what WTF? Like normal Lori would have been tipsy. And so I'm drinking it and then I'm like, "What? I'm not like this is so weird." I felt like, denser, heavier, but I didn't necessarily feel tipsy. It was very, very strange, very strange. So, we walk out of that bar, we go to this other bar, and it's a dual piano bar. I've always in my whole life, I've wanted to go to a dual piano bar. Um And so we go into this dual piano bar and it's a freaking riot. It's packed full of people, right? And it's there's two people on stage, more than two, but two pianos, and they're playing like normal songs, right? Like not like piano songs, like all kinds of songs. And because I never go out, because I never engage with humans really in that kind of way, my heart is like lit up. I am looking around and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is what being a human is all about." Like, this is the human experience. Like, here are all these people. Nobody knows each other, right? And of course, we've had these experiences over and over and over again. This is nothing new. I understand this, but it just hit me, right? I was like, this truly is a reason why the human experience is such a gift. Because here we are, nobody knows each other, everybody's smiling at each other, everybody's looking at each other, everybody is dancing together, everybody is engaging with each other, everybody is singing these songs that are from like the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s and 2000s, and somehow we all know these songs and we're all uniting, we're all singing, we're all coming together, like, and when I would look around and I would say, this is it. This is the human experience. And there's millions of these experiences that we get to have throughout our day. It's just a matter of, do you stop and do you grab them? Do you stop and say to yourself, "Oh my God, this is the gift of being human. This is the gift." Right? Looking at some stranger and smiling, that's the gift. Dancing with a random person you don't know, that's the gift. Right? Laughing with somebody that is so different from you, that's the gift. That's the gift. Because one of the things that has been settling in more and more, especially in the last 6 months, is this juggling act of being very human and going through the pain and the suffering and the struggle. You guys know that I talk about it, that I dissect it, that I try to make everything uncomfortable comfortable, that I do not bypass my depression or my anxiety or my stress or any of it. I do not. I go in, right? With this simultaneous remembrance that this entire experience is a gift. That the moment I would leave my body, I will look down and say, "Holy shit, that was a gift. That was a rock and roll, holy cow, slide into home base, scarred up, dirty, rattled, half my clothes off, scars all over the place, but I freaking did it." And can we, thank you so much, Sandra, for the super chat. Can we start to allow ourselves to hold both perspectives because they are both true and they're both real? The perspective of the human journey is difficult. The human journey is a massive remembrance of who we came here to be and how to navigate the intensity of emotions, thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, traumas, shadow, etc. You cannot bypass it. You cannot get rid of, like, you can't pretend that you aren't going through it. Because every single person in that room, in that piano bar, in that duel, including the people singing, doing the piano, playing the piano, including the people behind the bar, including the people that were laughing and smiling, including the super drunk people, the super sober people, every single person suffers. Every person has struggle. Every person in there has fear and anxiety, perhaps stress or worry, heartache, heart pain, breakdowns, breakthroughs. And every single person in that moment was also tapping into the miraculous gift of being a human. but they didn't necessarily recognize it. They were just being in the moment. But what if we started recognizing, oh my God, this right here is the gift of the human experience? And what if we recognized it the same way that we recognize the suffering, that we recognize the pain, that we recognize the changes? It's not easy because when we are at a dual piano bar, listening to amazing songs around amazing people that their hearts are open, they're having such a good time, right? So it's easy to say, oh my God, this is the gift. This is the gift of the human experience. But here's what we are here to do. We are here to remember that it is all a gift. Thank you so much, Schumann, for the super chat. It is all a gift. All of it. This pain and the suffering and the struggle, the victim mentality that you're trying to step out of, the relationship that you don't want to be in that you're courageously trying to step out of, the fact that you go to a job that you hate and you are remembering and learning slowly but surely how to eventually step out of it, that you're paying attention to the fact that this is all programming. Wow, what a gift. This sucks. What a gift. Can I allow myself to recognize what I'm in? Can I see this as a gift, an opportunity, an evolutionary process? Because the more that you're able to do that, the easier this game of life becomes. The easier this game of life becomes. And so when we were there, recognizing all of that, and we finally left a couple of hours later, and we walked outside. I had this, I'm sure you guys experience this a lot. I just had this deep, deep love for humanity. You know, when you go to like a concert, right? You can feel the same sort of deep love, like you're all connected. You go to um, a sports event, right? There's an opening that happens where you connect into this unified field where you just start looking around and you're like, damn, I freaking love humanity. Like every single unique individual is unique, all of it. So I walked out of the bar, we were walking around and we were just looking at I was looking at all the different people walking down the street and all the different people that were conscious or unconscious, right? Um, recognizing what they're experiencing, not recognizing what they're experiencing, right? But just having this lens of awe, um, and being so present with the moment, being so present with these moments. I do this a lot. Let me know if you guys do this as well, where you find yourself in a moment and you know that in that moment, you're going to remember that moment. Do you ever have those where you're like, I'm in a moment right now where I am going to remember this moment? I'm going to remember this moment. I feel like these moments of deep awareness like that, it's like I am tapping into a unified field. And that moment of tapping into the unified field is the moment you sort of solidify yourself into presence. And the reason that you know you're never going to forget it is because you have accessed presence. And presence never goes anywhere. Presence just is. And so what ends up happening is you start to have more and more of these moments of presence where you're realizing the gift of being human. And you say to yourself, oh my God, this is a moment I'll never forget. It's because you've tapped into presence. You've literally been gifted presence, which is void of everything and anything other than the truest expression of that experience right then, right there. There's nothing stopping it. There's nothing blocking it. There's nothing between you and the experience. You are truly experiencing the purest expression of that experience, if that makes sense. That's presence. That's life gifting you life. And the more that you can be conscious and not in robot mode, right? So robot mode is you're thinking about the past, you're thinking about the future, right? I could have gone out of that bar and been like, oh my God, I'm going to be so tired tomorrow. Oh my God, I hope that I don't have a hangover. Oh my God, all these things, right? I could have said to myself, all kinds of different stuff. Who knows? You know, what are we going to do next? I don't know. But I was just present. I was simply present in the moment. I was devouring every single moment because I knew that what I was in, I would never be in again. And if I'm in it again, what a gift. So I devoured the moment of every moment that I was in, consciously aware that this was a gift. That whatever I was in right here, right now, I will never be in again. And consciously knowing that, I devour it. Every moment I look around, every present now moment, I'm looking around saying, "This is never gonna happen again, I'm here." Now, yes, that's not pure presence because pure presence wouldn't even say that, right? Pure presence wouldn't even recognize that it was in presence. That's pure presence. So I'm not quite in pure presence yet, right? Because pure presence wouldn't even be thinking. There's no thought in presence. Presence is actually just experiencing, which is pretty much what I was doing, right? But it's interesting. The reason I want to share this story is because this human experience, this human journey that we're on, is a smorgasbord of experiences. And it's not about trying to escape or get out of the tumultuous, shadowy, traumatic trauma aspects of us that are going to pop up. It's not about going out and trying to drink in order to not feel. And if you do that, being conscious of it at least. It's about devouring everything that comes up. It's about allowing everything that comes up. An opportunity to go to Austin. Yes. An opportunity to go to this birthday party. Yes. An opportunity to feel super freaking not normal during the party. Yes. An opportunity to feel like you are losing your mind and on drugs trying to hold a conversation. Yes. An opportunity to go to a dual piano bar and have some drinks. Yes. An opportunity to walk out of the bar and just walk around and look at how humans are. Yes. That's flow. That's presence. That's non-judgment. That's non-attachment. And that's not trying to change or fix anything. The ability to wake up in the morning and be super dehydrated. Yes. The ability to take care of yourself in that moment and not judge yourself. Yes. Right? You don't say to yourself, I didn't say to myself when I woke up on Saturday morning really tired. I didn't say to myself, "Oh my God, I'm such a loser. Oh my God, what did I do? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm so stupid. Oh my God." No, I'm just constantly saying yes to whatever is showing up in the most detached way as possible, i.e., not trying to fix or change it. What is life serving me in this moment? A headache. Got it. What is life serving me in this moment? Over and over and over again. I don't box it into good or bad. I don't box it into black or white. Did I get really sick on Sunday because I was dehydrated and wasn't taking care of myself? Yep, got really sick. Not alcohol sick. I got really sick from the dehydration. I got really sick because I wasn't taking care of my body. I got really sick because I was out and about all day Saturday playing in the sun, going to another birthday event. my energy level isn't used to that, etc. Did I wake up Sunday very sick, saying to myself, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're this, you're that? Nope. Did I have to cancel a Patreon event? Yep. Did I get upset with myself? No. What is life serving me? And how do I say yes to it with the least amount of attachment and judgment as possible, not making it wrong and not trying to change or fix it? That truly is the gift, the gifts that we are being given right now. And that is what I am practicing. So some of you know this, some of you don't know this. When I travel and I come home, I'm always quite a little bit nervous because I don't know if I'm going to move into a depression, right? A depressive state. Um, when I travel, I something happens to me where I just I feel I just move into different states of consciousness when I'm traveling. And sometimes when I come back home, there's this feeling of like I'm caged in or nervous about going back into this introverted state, et cetera, et cetera. And so I move into a depressive state of consciousness or state of being for a while, a couple of days, who knows. The last time I came back from Florida for 3 weeks, it didn't happen. I was really, really excited. Now I don't try to control that. I don't say to myself, "Oh my God, I better not feel that depressive state. I'm going to do everything in my power to not feel that depressive state." Fuck no, I don't do that. I never, ever try to control anything I'm feeling because I am not in control of energy. I'm allowing myself to flow through this energetic world. What's being presented to me now? Got it. What am I literally bumping into now on the river? So when I came off the airplane, I immediately started to feel yesterday, I immediately started to feel that depressive feeling, that like, fuck, I don't want to be here. Shit. And it was heavy. I felt it. And I immediately was the first thing I did was I go into a fuck, how long is this going to last? Go into the future. Right. And then I start thinking about the course I'm doing and really having to be aligned for it on Saturday. And what is this going to do to it? And oh my God, I start to go into the future and I'm conscious of this. Lorie, you're going into the future. Got it. Stay present, Lorie. Just stay present in the feeling of it. So I'm driving from the airport to my house and I'm just in the experience of it and I'm just letting it be. I'm not controlling it. I don't know how long it's gonna last. The only thing I know is that I'm driving home and I'm gonna take a shower, right? And I'm just going to internally sort of pray that it dissolves, but I don't do anything to fix it or change it. That's how deeply I trust everything I'm feeling. Truly. I have such a deep trust in my experience with this world, with my higher self, with the universe, with energies, with everything, most importantly, my higher self, that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, 1,000,000% that whatever I am experiencing is for my highest good and I don't need to change it. And because I deeply, deeply, deeply live this way, I truly do, I allow it. So I came home and I walked into my place and I'm always feeling everything and dissecting, right? So I walk into my place and I'm like, "Okay, I feel okay. I don't feel the doom and gloom that I sometimes feel. Okay, so far so good." Start unpacking. All right. Hmm, I'm feeling okay. I'm exhausted. I'm feeling good. I take a shower. All is well, right? And then I start to do some work. I go lay on my bed and I'm just moving through the day just feeling, just being very conscious of what I'm feeling. And the next thing I know, I'm not in that. I don't know the moment it dissolved, but it was gone. Was I super stoked? Freak hell yes, I was. I was like, "Thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God." But did I try to shift it? Nope. Did I try to get out of it? Nope. Did I try to like mantra my way through it? Nope. I didn't do anything. And I allowed it to move through me. And this is what I try to teach when I talk about just allowing emotions to move through you. You just move through your day while you let whatever you're feeling to move through you. Here is how you anchor something into your body. Anchoring it meaning you pull it in, it becomes present, and now it's anchored in and you are kind of holding on to it. Okay? Here's how you do that. Here's how if I wanted to really anchor that feeling in of doom and gloom, okay? And you can use this example for any emotion you're feeling. When you don't want to feel something, okay? You're afraid of it. You're like, "Oh shit, what am I going to do? I don't want to feel this. Here it comes again." When you try to do something with it, for instance, I'm driving and I'm like, "Oh my God, I do not want to feel this. I do not want to feel this. What is this going to mean? What is this going to do? Okay, what can I do to get out of this? Um, why am I feeling this way?" Right? You start dissecting it. Why am I feeling this way? I should never have gone. Um, I don't know how long this is going to last. Um, you call somebody and you start anchoring it in by getting upset over it. Like, I can't believe I'm feeling this way again. Um, you know, how else would I have anchored depression? And I could have gotten started getting anxious over it. Um, I could have. You start like grabbing it. Okay, it's the same thing if you're feeling like fear or if you're feeling sadness. You start to grab it. That's how you anchor it in. You grab it by saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm feeling this again. Why am I feeling this again? How do I get rid of this? Is this pointing me to some sort of trauma that I need to see? Is this pointing me to some sort of lesson that I need to learn? How long am I going to be sitting in this? How do I even do anything with this? Blah, blah, blah." That's how you anchor it. You just grab it and you're like, "Holy shit, this sucks. What do I do with this? How can I change this? How can I fix this?" As opposed to just looking at it and being like, "Oh, that's what I'm feeling. Next. Oh, I'm feeling that depressive state. Next." But being conscious of going into the future. The future is how you anchor. The past is how you anchor. Last time I felt this, this is what happened. If I feel this, this is what's going to happen. I started to do that, right? That depressive state. Oh my God, last time I felt this, this is how long it lasted. Past, I'm going to anchor it. If I feel this, this is what's going to happen in the future. I won't be able to launch my course. I won't be able going into the future. I'm starting to anchor it in because I know I'm starting to anchor it in. I then say to myself, boop, erase all of that. I'm just going to be in it. You see the difference? That's how you just let things flow through you. You don't go into the past. You don't go into the future. You don't try to do anything with it. I really hope this makes sense. This is the key to moving through anything, including trauma that pops in, which all trauma is emotions that you never felt the moment you actually had the external experience with it. So it moved into your body. You couldn't feel it because it was too intense for you in that moment for whatever reason. And so it's stored in your body. So when trauma comes up, it's just emotions coming up that you didn't want to feel, but it's intense. Right. And then all of a sudden you're like, "What's wrong with me?" And you grab it and you try to fix it and you try to change it. And the trauma, the emotion's just like, "Yo, can you just let me move?" That depressive state that I was in, it just wanted to move through me. That's it. Just wanted to move through me. And so I had to just allow it by not going into the past, not going into the future, not harping on it, hounding on it, figuring it out, trying to change it, just being with it. And then boom. It could have stayed for a couple of days. I don't know, truly, but it dissolved. And that's how we're designed to live. Listen, if we're going to start becoming more energetic, which every single one of you are, you're becoming more energetic. You're becoming the energetic human. Do you realize what that means? It means you have to feel everything with your hands up like you're going down a freaking roller coaster, right? Like I was at that party on Friday night and I was feeling so super high frequency. I could have tried to change it or fix it. I could have made it wrong. I could have said there's something wrong with me. I'm an alien in this world. I'll never fit in, blah blah blah. Or I could just be like, I got to adapt to this energy. I got to let this move. I got to let this flow. I got to move through this. I got to just trust that this is perfect. I got to learn to be in this. Let's go. Right? The more you know in the deepest core of your being that every single thing that's popping up for you is for your highest good, you'll trust more and more. And the more that you trust in that, the more you allow yourself to energetically experience this world. And the way you energetically experience this world is that you feel more than you think. So I was at this party and I was trying to have conversation, and conversing is in the mind. It's thinking, it's thought, it's words, it's physical, which is great. We got to do it, but it'd be a lot easier to be telepathic, right? But we're not telepathic yet, a lot of us. That's why telepathy is what occurs when we are in higher states of consciousness, because it's easier. There's no efforting in telepathy. And all telepathy is energetic recognition. So this individual standing in front of me is energetically expressing themselves, communicating through energy, and I am expressing and communicating through energy. And because I am energetic, I'm picking up on their energies, and they're energetic, they're picking up on my energies. And then you start to have a energetic conversation, and it's effortless. It's like, oh God, thank you, God. Thank you. It's crazy because physical conversation is very slow. It is. It's very slow. It can be challenging when I'm in a higher frequency, which for again, sometimes I move into it. I don't know how, I don't know why, I do not give a shit, I don't care, and I don't try to get there. But when I am there and there's a conversation that's happening, holy shit, it's the hardest thing I've ever done. I'm literally like, what the fuck did he just say? Wait a second. I know I just asked him a question. I'm not kidding. This is what happens. I'm like, I know I just asked him a question. I know he answered it, but I have no idea what just came out of his mouth. And then I'm like staring. And then then I have to talk, but I'm like, I don't remember what I just asked him. And I don't even remember what he answered. I can't follow the conversation. I don't know what just happened. I can't follow you. Like what? And then you sound like an idiot. You're like, I'm sorry. I don't know what I just asked you. And I have no idea what you just said. I'm trying my hardest to stay in this conversation and follow it, but I cannot. I can't follow this conversation. Can you can you remind me of what we're doing here? Oh my God. It's the freakiest freaking thing ever. It's really freaky. It happened Friday night, and then it happened Saturday at the other birthday event. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit today at the second party, the second event, birthday event. I was like, I'm just gonna sit and eat chips and salsa and just try not to have a lot of conversation. I'm gonna just try to eat chips. Um, didn't work, but I definitely am not. I definitely don't. It's not something. It's not like in my repertoire to go and socialize. I don't necessarily like it. I'm not a big fan of like socialization and like going out and being social. But I love being in social situations where I can sort of just watch and observe. If I could do that, that would be great. But there's always this like, you've got to talk to people, right? You've got to have conversations. Like, I don't want to fucking have conversation. Can I just sit? Can we just sit? Why do we have to talk? I don't want to talk. Then we have to think of things to say. And I don't want to think of things to say. That's effort. Can we just sit? What if we just sit and chill? Can we just do that? But I understand socialization. I do. I understand having conversations and talking to people and engaging. I so get that. Like I really, really do. But it can be very, very difficult when you're in a much higher frequency in the moment, right? Or you're just in a social environment that you don't want to be in, But pay attention to how um, conversations can feel efforting. It's pretty interesting. And then there's other conversations that are super easy, right? It's like flow and you're just going in and your time stops and it's so much fun. Um, and there's this beauty to it. There's this like quantum magic that happens in certain conversations. But yeah, I'm okay with who I am. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with what happens to me. Um, I'm okay with all of it. One of the things that I have always done since 2015 when I committed to doing the work I came here to do, when I committed to stepping into my purpose, my mission, my signature, and which to me was stepping out of the programming, stepping out of how I lived my life, really stepping into whoever I came here to be. It can be very frightening because one, you don't exactly know what that means and you don't exactly know who you're about to become, which is who you've always been. You don't know what the changes are going to be, the impact is going to be, right? So for most of my life, the reason I didn't commit to my signature is because I didn't want to be different. I didn't want to rock the boat. I didn't want to not fit in. I wanted it to be easy. I wanted life to just fucking be easy. So I specifically did not commit to my mission, my signature that was inside of me that was like, when are you committing to it? Because I knew that it would require me to take on a new type of life that I wasn't going to be able to control. And so in 2015, when I said, yes, I'm in a bazillion percent, I'll say yes to everything. I had to allow life. I had to allow my higher self to take my hand and say, this is what's next. This is what's next. This is what's next. And now you're going to feel this. And now you're going to do this. And now you're going to experience this. And the more that I did that, me personally, this isn't for everyone, okay? But me personally, the more I did that, the more I felt like I was very different. And the more I had to settle into that difference in order for me personally to be able to embody the signature and do what I came here to do. And after what, 6, 7 years, I'm able to now integrate more back into that human version of me and start to engage again in the world. But it required me to isolate for many years in order to anchor in and embody the signature. I had to. I had to isolate. I had to be alone. I had to figure out, who am I? What is this inside of me? How do I do this? And it became very, there was a lot required of me to be isolated more and more, and recognizing how different I was and how I live, how the difference in how I lived and live my life and being okay with that, you know, being okay with walking into a party and knowing that I may not be able to hold a conversation and people may look at me like I'm crazy and maybe they never noticed, but being able to surrender to all of who I am and not making anybody else better than or less than, but really learning how to be me and how to allow me to be different, and allow me to be to allow the universe, allow life to show me who I'm here to be. And I'm learning more and more how to just allow that, which means that I don't try to change how I'm showing up. I don't try to change how I feel around and with people. I don't try to change what resonates or doesn't resonate. I don't try to change in order to fit in or be seen a certain way. Because if I did that, I would literally be dis pulling myself out of the aligned state of my signature, of who I came here to be. And all of us, all of you have a signature, which just means who did you come here to be? The mother, the teacher, the um, the person that puts a smile on people's faces when you walk down the street, the person that tells all these really hilarious jokes to people and makes people laugh in order to reduce their suffering. Our signature is so unique and so different. But the only way that you tap into that signature is by being you, all of you, unequivocally, 1000%, no matter what it looks like, or sounds like, or feels like to other people. That's the only way you tap in. That's the only way that you become free. That's the only way that you be you, all of you. And so it requires you to start to allow whatever is coming up in front of you to be felt. Because every single thing that is coming up in front of you right now to be felt, if it's uncomfortable and you don't like it, it is a layer that needs to be peeled back and burned in order for you to step into your signature. Everything. The trauma is hiding the signature, right? The limiting beliefs is hiding the signature. The addictive behavior is hiding the signature, right? That's why when I stepped into my work in 2015, that is when my actual internal work began. Truly. That's when I got to work internally, because there was no way that I could do the work that I came here to do without internally dissecting, peeling apart, and burning layer after layer after layer of whatever has blocked me, from who I am and who I am here on this planet to be, how I am here to show up. How are you here to show up? When you dropped into the human body with your little briefcase, right? You didn't drop in to stay in suffering or struggle or fear or anxiety or lack or worry or discontent. All of that is experienced in the human journey. You agreed to all of that. But what is coming up right now that you're afraid to feel, that you judge, that you don't want to feel, that you're trying to bypass in some way? Because every single thing that is those things is the gift allowing you to peel back those layers that you naturally experienced by being a human in order to remember why you came here with your little briefcase, the who of who you are, who you're truly here to be. And that's what's happening with you. That's what's happening with all of us. So we go to an Austin birthday party. We feel super high and out of it. We can't have conversation, right? We feel like an alien in the room. So freaking what? You go to a dual piano bar, you look around and see all the humans. You devour that. You wake up in the morning with somewhat of a headache because of what you did. So what? You come home on an airplane, you're driving your car, you're feeling depressed. So what? Everything's an opportunity. Everything is allowing me to be all of me over and over and over again. And you don't have to go searching for it. You don't have to go searching. Surrender to that which you are unhappy about. Surrender deeper to it. Surrender into it while you intend what you want. Right? So this is what I did the last couple of years. One more thing before we go, because we're at out of time. What the hell does that mean? We're out of time. No, we're not. No such thing. Out of time. That's the craziest statement ever. We're out of time. What the fuck? No, we're not out of time. We're out of time. Okay, anyways, I just want to, that's very bizarre. But anyhow, couple of years ago, I started really, about 2 years ago, I guess around 2020, right? I guess a lot of us started really feeling isolated and even more isolated and even more alone. And by 2021, I said to myself, I said to my higher self, I said to my guides, I said, listen, y'all's need y'all need to bring something in my life where I can start to have some fun. I said, I want to start to travel. I want to start to have more laughter, more dance, more play. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's a partner or not a partner. I don't care, but please let's do this. That's what I'm saying to my higher self. So I'm sitting every day in alone, isolated, bored out of my mind, right? Quiet. But I am simultaneously reminding myself and my higher self and my guides, but my higher self of what I am intending. And there's this excitement of like, I can't wait until you have to hold both. If you sit just in the loneliness and you're like, I'm so pissed off. I can't believe I'm still here. This sucks that I'm lonely. Now, listen, you can have your temper tantrums. I've had my temper tantrums, but you got to pull up your bootstraps and say to yourself, listen, there's a movement here. What am I intending? And can I hold the fact that I'm intending that? It already is. It already is. It already is. So in November of 2021, I met a friend of mine, Rodney, who you guys know. We're best friends. We don't date. We're not partners. We're not romantic, just friends. And this friendship has been the gift of allowing me to start to have more fun in my life right now, while I simultaneously release my book and start my book tour internationally and do all of these things that I'm about to do. I didn't know that it would be this random dude, Rodney, who's like literally the most unique individual I've ever met, but that's who it was. And I didn't grab onto this individual and say, "Oh my god, who is he? What's he gonna be in my life?" No, I just said, "Oh, here comes this person. I have a shit ton of fun with him. I'm just gonna stay present and keep having fun with him." And that's what I'm doing. He's not my partner. He's not the person I'm going to, have this other life with. He's the individual that has come into my life that I have been waiting for that has brought me a crap ton of fun. So you have to simultaneously hold and surrender to what you're in. I surrendered every day to it. I just surrendered. This is what I'm in. But I simultaneously held the knowingness of what I was intending, what I knew was already done, which is I'm going to have fun. I'm going to travel. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to dance. I'm going to be more human. I just want to be more human. That's what I kept saying to my higher self. I just want to be more human. I just want to be more human. I just want to be more human. How can I, please, God, let me be more human? I'm serious. That was my request. I want to be more human. I want to go and do human things. I want to go to barbecues. I want to go do like, that's what I was saying. Please give me human things. I didn't know when. I didn't control it. And when Rodney did come into my life, I didn't control it. I didn't grab it. I didn't attach to it. If it went away tomorrow, it goes away tomorrow. I am not attached to most things in my life. I practice that. I practice that because the more that I can practice not attaching, the more I trust every single thing that comes in and leaves my life. And that's the truth. It's a practice all the time. There's nothing wrong with being attached to someone, okay? If my partner comes in, I'm obviously going to have an attachment to him. I'm going to want to be with him. I'm going to, right? But there is a difference between the like a codependent type of attachment, right? Where it's like, "Oh my god, if this person goes away, I'm going to lose all of this stuff." You have to let go of the fear of losing what you have, right? You have to let go of that. If Rodney went away and all of a sudden we weren't friends anymore, I have to be okay with what that feels like, what that would look like. I don't care. It is what it is. I move on. I adapt. I overcome. I keep going. That's being detached, but still desiring what you want. It's not a flatline feeling. So whatever you're in right now, okay, because I've gone through the ringer. I've felt so much these last 6 years, so much. I've felt all of it. And the more that you can learn and practice how to freaking stop being a victim to it. Okay? You don't have to like it, but stop playing the victim role. Stop. The victim role is like, woe is me, poor me, I'm still in this. I don't know how I'm still in this. That's the victim role. When you are a victim, you are disempowering yourself. You want to be empowered, which means look at what I'm in. All right, I'm going to be courageous and feel it, and I'm going to intend simultaneously what I know is in my future, what I know is coming, what I know is waiting for me. Stop playing the victim if you're playing it. Practice. The hardest thing that we can do when we start learning how to move into more of that flow state, the hardest thing we do is surrender deeper into that which we don't want to experience. Because we believe that in doing so, we become it. If you know that you are none of it, but that you have to drop into what you're experiencing in order to float through it, wouldn't you do it? So what? What's next? All right, I'm still here. Got it. Got it. What's next? Okay. And then simultaneously, what are you intending? And you don't intend from across your fingers, oh God, close my eyes. I hope to God this comes. It's not, there's no such thing as it coming to you. It's already done, it already exists. So think about it for a moment right now. Those of you that are in somewhat of a victim mentality or somewhat in a stuck or suffering or struggling state, think about this for a second. What are you feeling? What are you not wanting to feel? Just label it out loud. And what if that label is the gift that's going to move you into what it is that you're intending? So the next question is, what are you intending? What's your desire? What do you want? What if you knew that you had to stop denying what you were in order to fly into that intention that is waiting for you in another moment that you're not in yet, but it's already concrete, it's done, it's solidified, simply by having the desire. Because the desire is like a little radar that taps into a future you. Ding, 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 I desire that. Why do you think you desire it? Because it's already done. I really was desiring traveling. I really was desiring having more human fun and doing human things. I radared it out and I saw a version of me and I said, it's coming. I just don't know how, when, why, where, who. I didn't know who. I didn't try to control it. What did I do? I surrendered every freaking day to what I was in, having many, many days saying, I don't know if this is ever going to happen. I am going to be in this for the rest of my fucking life. Okay. Surrender into that. It's the way through. And what we do is we deny it. We deny it. We get mad at ourselves. We disempower ourselves by, I can't believe this. Why? Again, I want out of this. I want out of this. You are literally digging yourself deeper into the hole of what you're in. You are anchoring it. Just let it be. That's why it is so courageous to be a human. That's why I believe incarnating into the human experience is the most courageous thing you can do as a soul, as a consciousness. Because you have to learn, you have to remember how to surrender into everything that you are energetically experiencing, including that which you don't want to. And that is the hack of how you flow through life. You don't try to move yourself into a higher vibration. You don't try to change what you're experiencing. The hack, from my experience, is that you simply learn how to surrender into what you're experiencing because you're none of it. Holding on to the knowingness and intention of where you are going, intention, radar, desire. And you just allow, you just feel. And you are honest. You have your temper tantrums, you have your screaming fits. You have your doubts. You have it. You just don't anchor it in as if it's true. You don't anchor it in. This is truly how I have experienced what I've experienced in my life. And I continue to be wowed by how this works. You know? All right. Okay, you guys, that's it. 12 minutes overtime. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here. I appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and click on the little bell notification so you get notified when I go live. And what else? I'm doing a channeled message today live in my Patreon community, Evolve. These channeled messages are always, I do them once a month. It's the only place where I actually channel, and they are profound. And the individual that's coming in today, I don't even know who she is. I had to go and like kind of try to Google this person thinking that they didn't even exist, and they actually do exist. And there's always these really powerful, profound messages. And to me, the power of these channeled messages is that they give us another perspective of life that we kind of forget, because we're so in this human experience. We're so in it, right? That we can't necessarily always see bigger perspectives, bigger pictures, bigger messages. So if you want to join us, we're doing it in, let's see, 1 o'clock. So 10 to 11, 11 to about 3 hours from now. And the link to join the Patreon community is down below. There's also hundreds of other archived events, channeled messages, tons of meditations, Q&As, 30-minute mini sessions with me. So if you've ever wanted to do a one-on-one session with me, great opportunity to get a free session with me. Anywho, I love you guys. Soul Signature, my 4-week course, is starting on Saturday, the 23rd. That link is down below as well if you want to join. I think that's it. I think that is it. Another Untangled episode. Please share this episode with anybody that you think would benefit from hearing it, so that they can remember what's going on this planet. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday, 9 a.m. for another episode of Untangled. Take care of yourself.